What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for being here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff I love to talk about: movies, video games, comic books, TV shows. Right now, I want to talk about Survivor Winners at War. I've already talked about the last episode. I've talked about who I want to see come back from Edge of Extinction. But one of the things that I've been seeing people talk about and discuss on social media is, did Sandra quit? Can you count that as a quit, and what does that do to her legacy? So I got a couple thoughts on this, and keep in mind that I've watched Russell Hantz's YouTube video on this. I've watched several videos on this that kind of give me the take on different people, especially people who are close to Survivor. And obviously Russell thinks that it was a quit. He thinks it was a quit because that's the way that he would see things, because he's a player, he's a gamer, he likes to play hard, and I can understand how he would see that it was a quit. I can also see how he would see that it was a quit because of his relationship with Sandra, and the fact that he took her to the end of the game as a goat and she beat him. So I get that. What do I think, though? What do I think about, did she quit? Or can we not count this as a quit? Because we know that production doesn't bring back people who quit. It's not something that they do. To be clear, I think that production would bring Sandra back again. Under the right circumstances, I think that they would be all about bringing her back again. So I believe that in production eyes, they did not see it as a quit. And I believe that in the eyes of Jeff Probst, he did not see it as a quit. In fact, he said as much when he was being interviewed by EW. But the fans are ultimately the ones that make the decisions on these things. So was it a quit? I don't think so. And there's a couple reasons I think that. And first of all, let me say that I'm not a Sandra fan. I'm not a Sandra fan. When I was watching Pro Islands, I was all about Johnny Fairplay winning that season. All about it. When he went out in third place, I was bummed, because we either had a GOAT in Sandra or a bigger goat in Lil. Honestly, I think Pro Islands is part of the reason why they decided to eventually down the line go to the 3-person tribal councils, because Sandra had somebody sitting next to her that nobody was ever going to vote for. So yeah, I think that she was not the best player in Pro Islands. I think Fairplay was the best player in Pro Islands. And people are going to hate me for that. People are going to say, oh, that's dumb. Fairplay is bad. Bad. Listen, I don't care if somebody's a hero. I don't care if somebody's a villain. I care, did they play, and did they play hard? And Sandra doesn't play. And that's one of my biggest problems with her, is that she doesn't play. She didn't play in Pro Islands. She was sitting back, letting other people make the big moves, hoping that she didn't get noticed. As long as it's not me. That's her, the way she operates, as long as it isn't me. So let's go to heroes versus villains. She should not have won that game. I'm sorry. She should not have won Heroes versus Villains. Heroes versus Villains was a textbook case of bitter jury. A jury that got outplayed by a new player in Russell. They all got outplayed by a new player, and they were bitter about it. They got outplayed by a new player, and a player that had a target on her back since day one in Parvati. So they got outplayed by Russell, they got outplayed by Parvati, and they were bitter. They were bitter babies. That jury was bitter babies. And they gave the win to Sandra because she was the least offensive of the three sitting up there. And Russell took Sandra to the end because he believed nobody would vote for her. Again, nobody's going to vote for her. She didn't do anything. And she got the win because she was the least offensive. So I'm not a Sandra fan. I'm not. By the way, I do not think Russell should have won Heroes versus Villains. I think Parvati should have won Heroes versus Villains. She made the biggest moves. She had the biggest target on her back since the beginning, and she was the most savvy player. Russell played great in Heroes versus Villains, and he was obviously a big part of that show. And I think when people think about Heroes versus Villains, the first person that comes to their mind, well, for a lot of people, will be Russell. In a lot of ways, that was the Russell season. 19 and 20 were really the Russell seasons. But Parvati played the best game. She deserved that win, not Sandra, not the one who did nothing the whole game. Everything that Sandra tried to do in Heroes vs. Villains, she failed at. She tried to get Russell out. That was her strategy. She failed at it. So I'm not a Sandra fan. Fast forward to Game Changers. Game Changers, she got out early, day 16, because she was trying to make some moves in Game Changers, and they got her. Now in Winners at War, she tried to make a move in Winners at War, and Denise got her. Sent her to Edge of Extinction, and what happens? She quits. She raises the flag and she quits. But is it a quit from Survivor, or is it a quit from Edge of Extinction? That is the question that we're talking about, and I don't think it's a quit from Survivor. I think it's taking an option that they're given. So here's the difference, I think. When you're playing the game of Survivor, they do not want you to quit. Many people who are inside of the Survivor family have said that production is actually terrified of people quitting, and they actually vet people. They vet the potential contestants, and one of the factors that they vet is, are they a risk to quit? And obviously some people slip through the cracks. You never know how people are going to react once they get out there, but they do not want people to quit, and they're terrified of people quitting. So here's the thing: in the game of Survivor, they never give you the option to quit. It's like never an option that they're, okay, if you want to go, you can go. Now, we know that you can leave the game anytime you want. You're not under contract to stay in the game against your will. But it's never like an option. They never go to a challenge and say, if you guys are done, you can go. Or they're never at Tribal Council saying, if you had enough, you can go. Jeff has asked those kinds of questions when somebody's contemplating quitting, but it's never something that they bring up and they say, hey, you have the option to leave. That's just not something they do, because they don't want people to quit. But Edge of Extinction is a different beast. Edge of Extinction, they're given the option to quit. It's almost like given an option to bow out gracefully. It's an option given to them by production. You can raise that flag and you can leave the game. You've been voted out. You have fulfilled your part of the bargain. You played the game. You got voted out. You don't have to stay. That is a rule put in place by production. You did your part. You played the game. You got voted out. You can stay for a small chance that you might get in, or if your adventure is over, you can leave. It's a choice given to them, and when it's a choice given to them, that's not a quit. You're not quitting Survivor. You're deciding that you don't want to stay on the Edge of Extinction. That's not a quit in my mind. And I don't think that's a quit in production's mind, or Jeff Probst's mind. I really don't. And I don't think that by the reaction that he has had to her. He's even said the queen is still the queen. So as much as I don't like Sandra, and I really don't, she is nowhere near one of my favorite players to ever play this game. I was excited about seeing her play Winners at War again. Honestly, I was, because of her legacy and because of the story that she brought to Winners at War. But I was never rooting for her to win. And I'm not a fan. And even I, who am not a Sandra fan, have to say she didn't quit. She didn't quit. She took an option that was given her by production. She took an option that was given to her by production as part of the game. Now, you can not respect it if you want. You can say, well, I don't respect the fact that she didn't tough it out. That's fine, but you can't call it a quit. She fulfilled her end of the bargain. She played till she got voted out. That's what Survivor is. You play till you get voted out. And then, when there's something like this, you have the option of staying and fighting it out if you want. She decided not to. I don't like it. I would have rather her stayed on Edge of Extinction and fight it out, but she decided not to. So we got to be okay with that and understand it's not a quit. This doesn't tarnish her legacy. She made the best choice for her at the time, and that's all we can ask for any of them. So, like I said, not a fan, but she didn't quit. What do you think? Do you think that Sandra quit? Or do you think that she took an option that was given to her as part of the game, an option that is technically part of the game, and it's not a quit? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your take on it. Thank you so much for joining me here at the LQ Review. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, I appreciate you joining me here where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff we love to talk about. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.